Peace. We are back with another episode of Politics and Black Families. Today, my guest, Dave Anderson.
Thank you, man. How are you?
I'm good. The real Black Agenda, baby.
Yes, sir.
It's finally here. I finally got my copy.
Yes, sir.
I finally get to sit down with you.
Man, I'm excited.
Thank you, brother, for joining us.
Man, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Always, always. You know, we got good friends that reach out and said, my good friend was like, this is your good friend.
Yeah.
And y'all can be friends and make it happen. I was like, say less, it's happening.
Absolutely, man. I'm grateful for that, man. I'm always open to have conversations.
Yeah. Tell me about the Black Agenda.
The real Black Agenda.
The real Black Agenda. Not the Black Agenda, the real Black Agenda.
Because there's a Black Agenda floating around that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Talk
Just
to
a collection of essays by people who are not foundational Black Americans and can't possibly speak on what it means to be a foundational Black American, jumping in our conversations. But I'm not jumping in nobody else's Joel off.
Yeah,
but,
there you go.
You know, I respectfully, cousins, I need you to stay in your lane because I don't go in yours.
So what's the real Black Agenda?
The real Black Agenda is very simply, it's three principles for me. Be Black, build Black, buy Black. Every other community seems to understand this, but we have been cultivated in a way where the indoctrination is we have to look outside of ourselves as opposed to realizing that everything that we need to solve our problems comes from within. You can't expect an external problem or an external solution to an internal problem. Yeah. And that's what's been happening, especially over the past 60 years. Yeah. We have these densely populated Black neighborhoods, but there is no Brother Town. There's no Black Girl Magicville. I've lived in 19 states and 34 cities. I've seen Koreatown, Little Italy, Chinatown, the Delhi district.
I've always wondered that.
But we the hood. Yeah. You know, by and large, there are pockets of nice Black communities, but those are exceptions and not the rule. Yeah. And so you have to ask yourself, if darn near every place has an abortion clinic, is a designated food desert, and these folks are voting 90% Democrat and have not gotten anything for their vote, and if you ask for anything tangible, you are looked at as a coon, you're, you know, shunned by comedians who somehow just don't tell jokes anymore. And
hold that, because how did we get there? They went from being funny to being political to being wrong that they political to now you just saying whatever the headline's saying. You just repeating to me what the article said.
So one of my favorite books is called Who Moved My Cheese? And in that book, it gives kind of the metaphor of what happens when you put a mouse in a maze. And then if the cheese gets moved from where the mouse is used to going, the smart mouse will go someplace else. So if your jokes have dried up and nobody's coming to see you and you can't book anything bigger than a comedy club, then guess what happens? You go and you get a nice little check from this particular campaign or this particular party or this particular PAC, and then all of a sudden you are dancing and shucking and jiving because, you know, this is the most critical time and we've got to get Trump out because Trump's the problem. So before that, was Mitt Romney the problem? Before that was John McCain the problem? Before that was W the problem? Before that was HW the problem? Before that was Reagan the problem?
What is the issue with them and Trump?
The issue with them and Trump is who's your favorite comic book hero?
Black Lightning.
I like Black Lightning. Black Lightning's dope, right? Because again, another brother with electricity. Yeah, you know, shocking everybody. But when you look at it,
that's
if he
melanin,
doesn't,
right?
Yeah, but if he doesn't have a foil, if he doesn't have a bad guy, what's the purpose of all those lightning powers? If Superman doesn't have Lex Luthor, what's the purpose of having godlike powers? You know, if there's no Brainiac or there is no Bizarro, like what is he there for? So they have to have a bad guy for two purposes. Number one, so that they can get voted back in, and number two, so that you don't pay attention to the shell game they're playing when they're not doing anything but giving you benign neglect. Hell, the Temptations 10 years before I was born was talking about vote for me and I'll set you free. Like, it's been the same hustle and Negroes haven't woke up to it, bro.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so let me ask you, does for people to say, do Donald Trump fit the real Black agenda?
Here's the thing. Anybody who you write a check to will fit your agenda. That's it. Kanye said America's for sale. Everybody else understands how to buy politicians. And if you think that that's something that is weird, you got to kind of explain to me why the cigarette companies had the United States in a chokehold for so long, why the Food and Drug Administration has looked the other way with those toxic dyes and chemicals that have been put in the foods that aren't allowed in any other established dominant, what you would consider a superpower. You can't explain to me how there are so many Planned Parenthoods in densely populated black neighborhoods when the government gives kickbacks, and you have different organizations profiting from those stem cells, taking that melanin, all of those things in those communities. You can't tell me that these things are not bought and paid for because people are lobbying, and lobbying is completely legal.
Should that be illegal that a foreign country can come lobby here in America? Is that a good thing? Because it can't be, right? That
it would be a good thing if we understood how the lobby system works. But come on, name me 3 black lobbyists you know.
1.
I said 3. See how that goes? And even that is such a small, finite situation. And so when you understand that this game is being played and we're the pawns in the game because we are not politically savvy, we're emotionally active because they start talking about Dr. King. As a matter of fact, I've seen not 1, not 2, but at least 3 people literally roll out Jesse Jackson in a wheelchair and stand next to him, or stand next to him while he's on a couch leaned over like this. And that's no disrespect to the good Reverend, but you and I both know the good Reverend is not in the form he was in 1988. Hell, he ain't in the form he was in 2000.
Yeah.
But they're using him to tie into civil rights. He's their civil rights linchpin. So when you see people like Jamal Bryant wheel out Jesse Jackson on behalf of DEI or on behalf of helping the illegal immigrants, because that's not going to affect black people if we just take care of the illegal immigrants. And as long as I send out these new birth buckets so that you can have 3 collections, and we're going to be fine. But they're all trying to link to civil rights, which in and of itself has been a trick bag, and we've been shoehorned into that situation. So what happens is we go out, and this has happened throughout history.
Go back to that. Civil rights.
It's a joke. Civil rights has always been a joke. It's a hustle. See, what happens is we have a good idea, right? So put a pin in civil rights, and I'm going to circle back.
Say less.
We have a good idea. You know what they do? They demonize it. They adapt it. They whitewash it. They give it back to us like they're benevolent. The Black Panthers were doing before school programs where they were giving kids free breakfast. They were doing after school programs for parents that needed to work and still needed somebody to watch their kids, because let's face it, even then childcare costs were crazy. Now we got free lunch programs, we got before school programs, we got after school programs. All that was on the Panthers. What did they do? They demonized it. They took it. They sanitized it, sold it back to us, right? So when you look at what's happening in this day and age, they continue to do that. And so for me, when it comes to civil rights, what happened to BLM? And I'm not talking Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about the Black Liberation Movement. What happened to it? Do you know?
I feel like the Black Liberation Movement, that stopped in around late 60s.
Of course it did.
I think that was over once the true leaders of it were removed. I don't think there's been any Black Liberation Movement.
Of course, because nonviolent. I just want to sit down with the white people. All the white people, all the Asian people, everybody just come together. I want to take on everybody's fight.
So are you saying Martin Luther King set black people back?
Martin Luther King told Harry Belafonte out his own mouth, I may have integrated my people into a burning house. His words, not mine.
What does that mean?
That means that for all this integration, so I come from older parents. My father was born in 1935. My mother was born in 1946. My father's mother was born in 1904. So my mentality is a little bit older than the average bear because my parents were a little bit older than the average bear. My maternal grandmother sat me down and said, I don't know why my children went out there to go sit at lunch counters for people that don't know how to season their food. It don't make no sense. She said, with the exception of your mother, because she was an emergency birth, every last one of your aunts and uncles was born in a black hospital to black doctors. On our block, we had a black supermarket, we had black schools, we had black banks, we had black tailors. Everybody knew everybody. As soon as they said you can take your money and go spend it with the people who hate you, all the black hotels shut down. Name me 3 black hospitals. This is my grandmother talking. I was like, Howard University Hospital? She said, okay, 2 more. I'm like, she said, and that's the point. They sold them this idea of overcoming because we thought the white man's ice was cold, or at least your mother and them did. And I never bought into that. We had us, and that's all we needed.
So is that black conservatism, that a black republic? Is that what I'm hearing? Was that the ideology around
Black
it?
people have always been conservative. I don't necessarily think black people have always been Republican.
Yeah.
There's a world of difference because we don't want anybody telling us how to raise our kids. We don't want anybody to tell us how we can have sex. We don't want anybody telling us what we can do. We don't want anybody telling us how to protect our families. Yet and still, gun control, you can't do this, you can't say that, you got to be indoctrinated this way. To me, we are the most conservative people when it comes to that, but we don't like to say that because we actually believe that we're liberals, and that's how the trick bag works.
But when you say not Republican, what's that difference?
So
we're not Barry Goldwater Republicans.
We're not Barry Goldwater. No. And I think what has happened is we have demonized it so bad where we actually believe that there's only racism on one party's side. As if the Democrats don't have a Goldwater girl by the name of Hillary Rodham Clinton. As if Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. of Delaware didn't say that he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. As if Bill Clinton didn't fix his mouth to talk about Barack Hussein Obama. And while I have issues with President Obama, I thought it was downright disrespectful to all black people when Bill Clinton said, oh, well, it's funny because, I mean, even Jesse Jackson won South Carolina.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Right? When his wife said we need to bring them to heel because my generation, our generation, were super predators.
Yeah.
Bring them to heel? Oh, wasn't her childhood hero Margaret Sanger, you know, the eugenist who's responsible for Planned Parenthood? She was so racist and so evil, allegedly.
Why is that not talked about? Is that something like...
Because it doesn't go with the narrative.
So for people that don't understand eugenics, can you explain it to those?
Eugenics is when you're trying to wipe out or control a population through all different types of means. Hers was abortion. You know, how do you call it family planning when you're literally stopping people from having a family?
So hold on. So what about the women who, because, you know, they'll come and say, hey, this is medical procedures, it's reproductive rights, it's things of this nature. And you say, well, okay, 30 million black babies have been aborted.
Sure.
Right? Was that all because of medical procedures? I'm just asking.
Here's the thing. When you're listening to other people tell you what to think, you don't stop to think critically. So let's put abortion to the side for a minute and let's talk about what reproductive rights actually look like. Black women are being killed or dying, giving birth, are dying at higher rates in hospitals than any other group in the United States of America. And it has nothing to do with poverty, because if it did, Raphael, then you'd have to explain to me, you know for a fact Serena Williams' net worth is close to $1 billion. Same thing with Beyonce Knowles Carter. That's not up for dispute, is it?
Yeah.
So you would consider them rich, wealthy by most standards, would you not?
For sure.
Even by white standards, you would consider them the upper 1% of the upper 1%.
Indeed.
They almost died on the table giving birth, both of them. So it's not because of a lack of resources. It's because the entire gynecological program was based on the torture and experimentation of black women. So if we're talking about reproductive rights, how many people do you know who have had abortions and then turned around and had some issues with their ability to give birth later on in life? How many women do you know who have had, we call them perms, but they're actually relaxers, have had uterine fibroids as a result of it, getting cancer as a result of it? But you care about a woman's health care, but by and large, the numbers don't look the same across women in America. And there's a distinct difference as to how many black women are dying or underdiagnosed, or even that old medical myth that black women have less, they can take more pain, they have a higher pain threshold. All of that is still, ingrained into people.
So are you saying this system of medicine with black women is going back to slavery?
Going back to slavery, you can take it to the Great Depression. Yeah, I mean, you can go as far back as you like to. How many times were they experimented on? Oh yeah, and by the way, when you look at, the fact that white folks are still here, a lot of that is due to the fact that they used to have a slave mammy, and that slave mammy would breastfeed their child on one breast, and the other breast was reserved for masses children.
What did you say? Say that in that camera again.
So, die. There was a slave mammy usually on a lot of plantations, and one breast was reserved for the slave mammy's children to make sure that the bucks and the slave girls were growing up big and strong, and the other one was reserved for Mass's children. And I'm not talking about the biological half-breeds that he created by going, Master got loose in the slave quarters. I'm talking about his lily white children. That titty could not be touched by black lips. It could only be touched by white babies.
Okay, let's hold on, pause. We got to move the conversation forward, right? We're going to talk about, you crazy, man. I knew when Michaela sent you. I knew it was coming.
What did I? Did I say anything that isn't historically factual?
Boy, you've been letting it loose this morning.
I have?
You had your coffee yet?
I had a cup this morning.
We're going to get another cup after we done.
Okay.
We're going to walk down here and get us a cup.
Get a cup of coffee.
Hey, look, so talk about education.
Sure.
There's something happening that gives me the chills, the kids, gets my friends, parents the chills. What is going on in education? Some indoctrination, some assimilation. What is going on?
Those who do not understand history are doomed to repeat it. Rockefeller understood in order to have an industrial revolution, in order to build factories and keep America on a superpower level, that you needed to have a nation of workers, not a nation of thinkers. His words, not mine.
Yeah.
And so school, because before Rockefeller, that mostly school was for affluent white children, primarily white males. It was not for everybody.
You had to stay home and help out tend to the land or something like that, huh?
You look in North Carolina, what were they doing? Tobacco. You look all throughout the South, Virginia, you get peanuts and cotton, so on and so forth. You was toting barge and lifting bale. That's why to this day, you can probably still, depending on how you work it out, sign your kid out of school by the time they're 14, 15.
Yeah.
Right? So if we understand that, and we realize that if you look at the way factories are set up and you look at the way that schools are set up, what happens? There's a bell to let you know when to get to work. Yeah. There's a bell to let you know when to stand in line. There's a bell for you to eat. There's a bell for you to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You have indoctrinated people. And then, a sneaky little 40-hour work week where you work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day for 40 years, and then you retire for 40% of your pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about education, it's not about education. No one is ever going to educate you to a point where you're going to get what they have. Yeah. You don't work a job where you're going to be able to move into the cul-de-sac where your CEO lives. They're not doing that. They're keeping you alive. They are not trying to allow you to thrive.
Are you saying they're grooming you to be docile and follow orders?
And it's worked for 100 years. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Wow.
And keep in mind, before somebody attacks me, number one, I'm a college professor. Number two, my uncle taught at MIT. Number three, my stepfather, my mother, my grandmother are teachers. Number four, my daughter teaches in the public school system. Number five, I went to the lowest ranked public high school in America, Martin Luther King High School. It was so bad that Joe Clark of Lean On Me fame came into the school and said, I can't do nothing with y'all. Y'all keep just have hope and have a plan. And he left. Google it. I am not making it up. And I talk about it in the book, but the education system is working exactly how it's supposed to work.
This is the book, guys. The Real Black Agenda.
They don't want us to thrive. They don't want us to read. My grandfather had a 6th grade education and put 7 kids through college on a 6th grade education because he could work with his hands. What happened to all the trade skills? What happened to all those jobs? When they took those programs out of the school, you can barely find ROTC in school. There's no more metal shop. There's no more wood shop.
Remember ROTC?
Yes, my brother was in ROTC.
Mandatory for us.
It was mandatory. And my brother, I remember because I got to watch him, God rest his soul, scale down the wall. Like rappel off the wall. And I was like, yo, this is the coolest thing ever. Be all you can be. Yeah. You can get skills in the Army. Remember that? Yeah, no, not no more.
That don't happen. I always tell my wife that. I said, back where I'm from in Ohio, you know, Cleveland, Ohio,
right?
The officers came to the school.
Yes.
Right? Because if that, you was going to work at the metal plants or you worked at Ford or wherever you were going, or Cleveland Clinic, whatever employees would do. But for the most part, you was going to the service, or you was ROTC, or you were learning some type of plumbing trade.
Yes.
Even media was a thing back then. You had to take media class and all of that. Like,
I started my media career in 1987. You had to have a license.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't just be some thought that was on 106 in Park for 3 episodes and then, you know, boom, you on the air.
Hold on, you know what? That brings me to my other question.
Uh-oh.
Because I seen you promoting going on the Breakfast Club. I actually seen you on this. I seen you in the stage. I seen you walking through. Everybody's waiting for your interview. Where the hell is the interview?
I'm sorry. I know I've lost a lot of weight, and I know you might not understand this, but nobody's ever confused me for Charlemagne. That is a Breakfast Club question. I don't know where the interview is. They have it. It's edited. They have not released it.
You went on, you filmed the interview.
I went on, I filmed the interview. My team filmed the interview. I have the footage.
But they won't release the interview.
They have not released the interview as of yet. I don't know why. I've heard different variations as to what that is. I don't understand them. One was...
what do you think?
I don't know what to think, to be honest with you, Raphael. I will say this. What I was told was that they needed to vet some things as far as my employee count, because I guess some people don't understand how fractional ownership works. The question was asked during the interview about whether or not I was anti-job. And I said, I'm anti-job for me, but how does somebody with 300 employees be anti-job? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then there's these questions. See, the thing of it is, when you are black and you aren't running around telling everybody what you have, there's a guy, what is his name? Oh gosh, I can't think of his name now. The Black Godfather. I can't call it, Clarence Avant.
Clarence Avant, yeah.
For a long time, nobody knew who Clarence Avant was. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
The real power is in the background.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times you don't know what I have my hands in. And what I told Charlemagne when he pushed back on, you know, that, he was like, 300 employees, that's like 1%. I said 0.4 to 0.6% of all small and medium-sized businesses.
Yeah.
I said, but varying interests, different fractional ownership in this company, that company, this company, it adds up fast. I said, if you don't know what I have, you don't know what to attack.
Very true.
It's the same thing Dame Dash said when it comes to having a family office. You know, the Kardashians have one, the Kennedys have one. It's how you maintain wealth.
Yeah, if I'm not publicizing it and I'm not in your magazine, then what I have is not real.
Right, but I was in Forbes. I was in Entrepreneur magazine. Like, these things are not an uncommon thing. And I'm not talking Forbes India either. I didn't buy my way in. But the thing of it is, people can't respect you beyond the level at which they met you. But again, I was told that they were
Say
trying to
that one
vet.
more time in that camera.
People don't respect you beyond the level at which they met you, because they can see you there. That's why sometimes when you come home to the family reunion or you come home for Easter dinner and they're like, oh, you got that little podcast, Raphael.
Yeah.
That's cute. I remember when you used to run real fast, wear that purple shirt every day of the week and pick your navel. Like, why is that necessary? I'm not that person anymore.
Why in our culture mainly? Because you notice it's only in other cultures. It's always, I love what you're doing. Keep it going. How can I be a part of it? How can I be a part of it?
Right. What do you need?
Because I see it's something here. But in our culture, not all of them, right? Because and I want to separate that because I meet a lot of outstanding black people, black Americans, all types of backgrounds. That's like, bro, I'm rocking with it. But the ones that we expect are typically, I still see you as Lil Ralph.
Here's the thing. My mother said to me a long time ago, the thing about our people, not all our people, but a lot of them, is they have a mentality that you'll never understand. And I said, well, what do you mean, Mom? And she said, nobody minds you doing good as long as you ain't doing gooder than them. See, you have no problem giving your money to Ralph Lauren because you're never going to be in the same room with him, but you got a problem giving your money to Damon John. You got no problem giving your money over to Les Moonves and, you know, all of those cats, but you got a problem, you know, giving your money to Byron Allen. Because you can see those people, and you know you don't want them to. You ever see the movie Belly? There's this thing where guy comes out, he's eating a banana, he's like, I don't like that. I'm gonna drop dime on
Let's
the
go.
niggas.
Everybody know that scene right there. That's the reality. Ain't it?
That's reality.
That is a real. That's why it was there.
Because that's how a lot of us operate, and it shouldn't be that way. My grandfather, same one with the 6th grade education, said a candle loses nothing by lighting another one. I can only speculate that for whatever reason, you know, they might have felt some type of way. I don't know why. Because, again...
That's why you went against the agenda?
Maybe
their
not.
black agenda?
I guess. I don't know. There are people who have theorized that, you know, it's a gatekeeping thing. But my whole thing is, I've been on that show 4 times. Like, what are we gatekeeping now? You don't know me by now. Like, how you not going to know me? And then the other part of that is there has been a lot of people, the other thing I was told, there's been a lot of people who have been up there scamming and this, that, and the third and trying to sell courses. I'm like, I got courses, but I was there to promote a book.
Yeah.
it's a tangible product.
Yeah.
You buy the book gets shipped to you, you read the book. You can listen to the book. This is audible. So none
And I
of
went
that
to Black
holds
Media
water.
to do it.
I went to Black Media to do it, supposedly. And what winds up happening is,
man.
if there was an issue with something I said, now keep in mind, my background is in radio. I started in 1987. I was 9 years old. Having said that, I have worked with Wendy Williams, Ricky Smiley, DJ Clue. If you vet somebody, you do it before they sit down. If there's a question as to the legitimacy of something, there's two things you can do. The first is you call, you write, you email, and normally you email or send a letter so that there is a paper trail so you cover your behind. None of that ever happened. I haven't heard from an iHeart legal person. I have not heard from anybody in programming. I have a string of emails that
But that's not normal. I watch the show. I follow the show. They pretty much show their guests. Their guest shows the BTS before they go on the show. And then they say my interview drop and they take the picture. And we all know how content works. It gets up pretty quick.
Yes.
So Black America would like to hear from the Real Black Agenda author, David Anderson, please.
Please call me Dave. Only the IRS and my mother calls me David. The thing of it is, Raphael, I don't know.
Dang, this shit man right here.
I don't know, bro. I wish I could give you a straight answer, but I can't give you what I've never been given, which is a straight answer. And I feel like, their executive producer is somebody I've known since college. So we're talking 30 years. And I've known Charlemagne for 20 years, right? Yeah. I love Charlemagne. I consider him one of my best friends. When I was homeless, he put love in my hands. He gave me money. I can't sit up here and badmouth my friend because that's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
I do have questions that have yet to be answered.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is the same way you asked me this. Chuck Creekmore from All Hip Hop has asked me, and I've had a myriad of people ask me this question because it is the oddest. Hold up. I did the interview June 25th. October, bro. We in a whole new season. It's pumpkin spice season at Starbucks.
Yeah. This is definitely no shade to him. It's just being honest. We would like to see the interview.
Right.
But if not, y'all come to Politics and Black Families, we'll host you. We'll bring it to you live every time. We never stop giving you what you want. We're gonna move this conversation forward. Yeah. And Dave, I gotta ask you this question right here. What is the message for Black America if you were to put it in, say, 60 seconds?
This my camera right here. Hi, Black America. I'm Dave Anderson. Whether it's me or Ice Cube or Dr. Claude Anderson, we need to understand a few things. The first is you don't have to like everybody you deal with. I remember when I got injured in college, I had a Jewish lawyer. My Jewish lawyer had a kid he grew up with that he could not stand. His name was Richie, but Richie was the best physical therapist on the planet. While the doctors at the hospital said I'd never walk again without the use of a cane, his friend Richie got me right in 6 months. He understood that it wasn't about whether he liked him. It was about referring his people. We don't do that. We're so afraid somebody's going to get one more thing, one up on us. We got to stop that. We have to start realizing that we have powered every single thing that has made this country and the world great by and large. And so my thing to you is we have to be black, build black, buy black. That means we need to make sure that we hold each other accountable without canceling, that we don't just pander and get happy because somebody goes, beep, 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 go to my iPad. And, there's a politician that says, let's do the nay-nay. We have to understand that in order to make something happen, you have to use your voice, your vote, and your resources. You got to cut a check. You got to show up at the polls, and you have to tell them what you want. You can't expect the waitress to just bring you a plate of food. What if you're allergic to that food? That's what the Real Black Agenda is about. I hope that you get it. It's at therealblackagenda.com. Go ahead and buy it. And of course, if you want the audiobook, if you buy it from therealblackagenda.com, I will throw in a copy of the audiobook via Audible for free.
There you go. Hey, I got you for a few more minutes.
Sure,
so I can't let you go.
I ain't got no job.
There we go.
I ain't even got no employees, according to people.
I got to wrap this up, but I got to ask you this question because you are a very, very educated man when it comes to politics.
Sure.
And Black America would like to know, what does Black America look like under Donald Trump?
I think Black America's great. I think we built it all. You did a great job. Raphael, do you see my fine African American right here? It's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Like him a lot. Here's what I think. We have thrived in a world where Hitler took 3/4 of it. We have thrived in a world with trickle-down Reaganomics. We can't survive under a reality star? And I don't know if you know this or not, whether you like the person at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue or not, you still got to feed your family, do you not? You have a wife to go home to, do you not? You have things to make happen, do you not? Why are we so focused on the orange man, but we not focused on the fact that we don't even know what district we're in, who's in charge of our city council, who is in charge of our school board, what our mayor is doing from day to day, and what's happening with our police force. But we're so concerned with the president because Jasmine Crockett told you to be, and AOC is sitting up here talking about tax the rich, and she's rich. Nancy Pelosi is the greatest day trader since E.F. Hutton, but we're worried about Donald Trump. Well, he had all these felonies and he did this and he was convicted. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Guess what? The same way he sat down with Steve Harvey, the same way he sat down with Jim Brown, the same way he sat down with Ice Cube. If you're willing to come to the table, I'm going to have the conversation. Okoye said in Black Panther, I serve whoever sits on that throne. And guess what? In this case, whoever sits in that oval serves me, according to the United States Constitution. Whether you like him or not, he is a servant of the people. Didn't y'all say that about Obama? Excuse me, real quick. Didn't you say that about Obama? Well, Dave, he's the president of all people. He's not the president of the black people. Well, he sure enough was the president of the gays, wasn't he?
Damn.
He was the president of the illegals, wasn't he?
Damn.
Oh, you know why? Because they cut the check and made demands. But when Skip Gates got arrested for breaking into his own house because he locked himself out of his house, and Barack Obama said, hey, the cop acted stupidly. The next thing you know, he's sitting down with the cop and Skip Gates and apologized. And they had a beer summit. Who made the president apologize? Who's the person above the president? You don't ask those questions, but we worrying about an orange man? I don't give a rat's ass what a billionaire does. What are the policies we're asking for? Not who's cute. Not who is, wearing pearls and chucks. Joe, he did it, Joe. What are you giving me for my vote? Because here's the thing. Black people tend, not all, but a lot that are too much for my comfort, tend to be hypocrites. Here's what I mean. Byron Donalds is married to a white woman. You call them all coons and sellouts. Who is Kamala Harris married to? Isn't
she married to?
Dougie Emhoff? Isn't he white?
Well, he's Jewish.
Jewish people aren't white?
Oh.
I thought he was white. Is Doug Emhoff black? I could have swore when you look at him, if he was being profiled by the police, they would say he is a big, long-headed white male. Am I lying? So
hold on. So if we could move it forward, I'm hearing Kamala may run again.
Run? You mean they're going to appoint her again?
Yeah, they said that she was thinking.
Did you vote for Kamala in the primary?
No.
Did you have an opportunity to vote for Kamala in the primary?
No.
Yeah, because they appointed her.
So they saying that she was thinking about running maybe with Jasmine Crockett as second in charge.
I'm sorry, excuse me 1 second. Pardon me. Ashton? Is Ashton Kutcher here? Am I being punked right now? Do you just want Republicans to win? That's what you're saying? You don't even want to fight. That's like putting my autistic 10-year-old, respectfully, my autistic 10-year-old in a ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr. Are you serious right now? I mean, my kid does Kempo and Krav Maga and can probably, get a good hit off, but she ain't taking out Money Mayweather.
She ain't taking out Money May.
Bro, I'm sorry. Can you? I'm asking, and in the comments, if you could, because I'm trying to learn. I think the best way to get anywhere is to have a fair exchange of ideas. Dame's nodding his head. He understands what I'm saying. Yeah. Can you tell me the policy that Jasmine Crockett has brought forth, either for the national black constituency or her own constituency in Dallas? Can you name the policy that
I don't know.
Has spearheaded that's gotten passed?
Only thing I've seen is some videos where they see her district is struggling.
Oh, so you mean just like Auntie Maxine's district is struggling, but she got on a private jet to talk about the illegals? But she got time to reclaim her time. Yeah, if Kamala runs, J.D. Vance gets the White House by You thought that map was red before. That map is going to look like a CSI with period blood on it. It's going to be dripping red. It's going to be redder than my sweatpants, bro.
Hey guys, we got to wrap this up. This is going to be part 1 or part 2 because I'm bringing them back, or I'm going to meet you in Philly.
Bro.
Or one of your places. I'll meet you wherever city you're in because you're on your book tour right now.
Yes, sir.
And this is the Real Black Agenda by Dave Anderson.
Yes,
tell them where it's available at. Tell them where to go find it one more time, and we're going to close this out.
Follow me on Instagram at The Business Bully. You can click the link in my bio if you want to book a consult. TheRealBlackAgenda.com is where I highly recommend you get the book. If you want the audio book, if you get it from TheRealBlackAgenda.com, I will give you a complimentary audible book so that you can listen to me in my voice, not AI, because I stayed up for days on end recording this book and I went off script like I'm Austin. Shout out to Austin off script. So listen, man, I hope that you get it. Whether you agree with it or not, read it so you know what I'm talking about, because I've given this book to plenty of people who have me on and didn't even take the time to read, but tell me my book is problematic. I don't know how that works. But again, I thank you for having me. I'm grateful for being here, and I love having these conversations. So it's Kamala Crockett.
That's
2028.
That's what I heard what that ticket looked like. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
we better get a coffee. We better go get a coffee. So I got to time with you before you head to that airport.
Yeah, man. I need a coffee because you just literally blew my mind. Because I'm sorry, I got to ask. I know y'all got to go, but I got to ask this. Did you see The View? There was an episode of The View before the election where Vice President Harris, and don't get me wrong, I like the Vice President. I think she was fun. Yeah. I don't know what she did because she said she wasn't the border czar, but I remember watching everybody.
Well, in her book now, they say she's going at Biden, and she's saying that he was doing a lot of hating, and there was a lot of resentment from maybe not him, but his staff, or whatever, however they put it.
When the ambulance is coming, bro. Can I ask you something? Didn't The View ask her? And last I checked, The View leaned kind of left. Yeah. Right? More than a not Beyonce song. They, to the left. Everything you say, it is for the damn left. They asked her, what would you do different from Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. of Delaware? I can't think of one thing.
That's
you didn't want to win.
That's a fact.
You did not want to win, boo-boo. That's not Joe Biden's fault. And by the way, name me a president that didn't diminish their vice president. Reagan did it to Bush. Bush did it to Quayle. Well, Quayle did it to himself with that whole potato thing. Yeah. Clinton did it to Gore. You're the vice president. You are the background. You are the doo-wop pop singer. Right. It's not your job to outshine me. Don't outshine the master. Did anybody read 48 Laws of Power? Have you read Machiavelli? Yeah. Never mind. Here we go. Read The Real Black Agenda. Go to TheRealBlackAgenda.com. My name is Dave Anderson. They call me the business bully. I'm just here to ask questions. I don't know anything. I'm just asking these things, and people get upset at me, and they call me a tap dancing coon because I just don't want to vote Democrat. I will vote Democrat if they give me a policy or a platform I can agree with that doesn't involve me selling weed like Kamala was trying to do.
So, but you can say you voted Republican, and you got your results that you wanted.
Listen. Locally, I voted Democrat.
Yeah. You ain't got another choice.
You could be nicer to me. You could. Here's the thing. Everybody else in this country votes their interest. I employ people. Mm-hmm. You know, in the UK, it's labor and business. Those are the parties, right? There's other parties, but who knows them? Labor and business. I am a businessman. In order to employ people, I need to make sure I have people doing what I need them to do for business. I am what Stephen A. Smith stole from me, which is I am fiscally conservative, but I am a social leaning liberal because I think we do need social services. Always. Because we are a country that's supposed to take care of the least of us.
I accept that.
And I think that we need business, and I think government needs to be smaller and get the hell up out the way of entrepreneurs because we do a better job of taking care of our people than the government does. And that's how it's supposed to be.
There you go.
So there it is. So yeah, I'm getting what I want on all fronts because I'm willing to write a check. I'm willing to give my voice, and I'm willing to vote the way that is going to allow me and mine to make things happen. When I say me and mine, I mean me and all black people who are willing to make moves and not fake moves.
There we go. We're going to close that out. That's it. Another episode of Politics and Black Families. Go get the book. Peace.